I'll be back.
We get it. You'll be back again and again and again. Does anyone get excited by that line anymore? We've heard it in every failed sequel since T2 Judgment Day, and the screenwriters still bother to regurgitate it. Am I supposed to smirk, laugh? I don't know. It's the equivalent of posting a 2006 meme in 2021. It's dead on arrival. I was initially interested in the film upon learning Sarah Connor's involvement in the main plotline again. Fans were excited to hear that Tim Miller would be directing the film after creating a successful Deadpool picture, but I'm a cynic when it comes to these films. Just because you've made one good film doesn't mean your next one will reach that level of quality. And my god, although some elements were competently directed, this is the worst script from a blockbuster in years. Characters largely lack any kind of voice, they just present explanations for why they're there, what they want, how they operate, etc. There was simplicity in the plots of the original two Terminator films. By having that, we were given dynamic character interactions between a messianic young boy, his homicidal android, and paranoid terrorist mother. There's no character building banter here, just convoluted exposition from characters we just met. The most controversial and stupid scene in the movie is its first one, which makes the first two entries of the series completely pointless. This was likely done to have a new young protagonist be the central figure of the hypothetical sequels, but the film failed financially, so that solves that problem, I guess. Arnold Schwarzenegger is luckily less comedic than the parody film Terminator Genesis, but in a way, his character is even worse here than in the last picture. The previous film seemed overt in its parody of the series' conflicting timelines and inconsistent characterizations, but this film takes everything so seriously that when it's revealed that the T-800 is now a good Samaritan named Carl with his own family, I was at a loss for words. Tim, I know you just saw Blade Runner 2049, but that's not how Terminators work. They are not replicants. Like the other post-T2 entries, there's a lack of grit in the cinematography. The original movie's action scenes felt real with their choreographed crashing vehicles, gunfire, and explosions. Even though they filmed a lot on location, there's yet another truck chase scene for example. There are obvious alterations to the setting using CGI. It just seems unnecessary to add small alterations to an otherwise well-crafted action scene. It makes it hard for me to invest in the reality of the character's situation. The action feels like a Marvel film in its physics and choreography. Things blow up and it means entirely nothing. The final action scene is a dumpster fire of explosions. These characters feel like superheroes, not human beings. Hell, they don't even feel like Terminators anymore. The antagonist, the Rev 9, is not as threatening as past antagonists of the franchise. He is entirely derivative of the T-1000's capabilities, but he can split himself into two machines. This was the best antagonist they could come up with after all these years. He's practically destroyed in the same way that the T-1000 was in the second film. There's a severe lack of originality here. The cast is fine with what they're given. They aren't very interesting characters outside of Sarah Connor. As mentioned before, they're vehicles for exposition. The film constantly trying to justify its own existence within the original two films' timeline. Arnold keeps coming back for the paycheck. As always, please refer to his contractual agreement for Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines if you think otherwise. Please don't make another Terminator film for another decade. And when you do, return to the gritty roots of the original and completely drop the machine goes back in time to kill future savior of the human race plotline. It was stale after the first third film in the franchise.